I'm gonna do some exploring.
What the fuck? What the fuck was that?
Whoa!
What the hell? I thought I just heard somebody say, hey! What the hell's that tapping? I don't know.
Story number 1. A solo camper returns to a mountain campsite after a 48-hour blizzard. Deep snow, worsening weather, and an isolated access road soon make getting back out the real challenge. He arrives to untouched snow and immediately starts sliding on the access road. With roughly 1.5 feet already on the ground, hidden holes and uneven terrain make him decide to park higher and continue toward camp on foot.
That no one's been here for the last 48 hours, man. I just pulled up and I'm making the first tracks here. Literally. Been a blizzard for the last 48 hours, so we were stuck inside. I was gonna film the other day, but today I'm like, I need to do something. I'm sitting down, literally doing nothing. I'm like, I gotta do something. So in this video, we're kinda on a dangerous expedition. This could go wrong at any given time, given the weather conditions right now. Man, I can already tell this is gonna be a pretty difficult night. Currently right now, we're sitting at probably 1.5 feet of snow. So this is gonna be pretty fun.
After hiking through deep snow, he finally finds his abandoned tent nearly buried. Parts are frozen to the ground, confirming how much conditions have changed since he left it 2 days earlier.
Okay, it's not too bad in there. All right. Okay. Man, this is an expedition and a half. Frozen to the ground. Oh shit. Yeah, I want to adjust that, but ain't gonna work. Okay, I'm gonna settle in. Man, I feel like I'm in Antarctica or something. What an expedition and a half. Love this stuff. Man, I feel like I need dinner after that one. Got some nice steak and some hot chocolate, so yeah, let's get warm.
Ice has formed around the shelter so heavily that he says taking the tent down would be difficult. The cold is already affecting him, and he openly admits these are poor conditions for camping.
Oh, Merlin's beard is cold though, man. Listen to this. That's all ice, man. That is all ice. At this point, I couldn't even take this tent down if I really wanted to.
The forecast becomes the turning point. Snow is now expected to continue until around 7 a.m., eliminating the break he had hoped for. He begins considering an early departure before the vehicle becomes trapped.
Damn, man. I was hoping it would have stopped at least for a little window. Oh damn, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. It's gonna stop snowing at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. What the hell? Like, I can't even make that up. 7 a.m. It's gonna be snowing until then. 90%, 80% in the exact area that I'm in right now. We may have to call this a little bit early so I can kind of get home safely. This may be really bad. I really don't know yet. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to get warm, to be honest.
Something strikes or slides across the tent while the storm continues outside. Although he cannot identify the cause, his bigger concern remains the weather. He notes that someone knows his location and that he has an SOS option if conditions prevent him from leaving.
Whoa.
I'm standing among you.
Whoa! What the fuck was that?
Amazed.
Yeah, I'm amazed. Who just threw that?
Happiness.
I kid you not, something was just thrown, or like it hit the top and slid down. Hello? Something's outside the tent. Something is literally outside the tent. Who's outside the tent?
I was so sick.
He makes the decision to pack his important equipment before darkness. With the surrounding city already heavily disrupted by snow, he recognizes that waiting longer could turn a voluntary adventure into an unnecessary overnight situation.
So I'm making an executive decision to pack everything up, load it into the car, and then from that point on, I'm gonna do some exploring. Woo! Whoa! They keep them in the tent. I think somebody just fell over. Oh! I'm on edge right now. I'm starting to hear shit. So, I'm not gonna give up. I just think if I don't pack up now, we may get stuck in like a weird dump of snow. We might be buried in, I guess I should say.
He finally drives out as snowfall intensifies. The vehicle slides on the snowy road, visibility worsens, and his anxiety about becoming trapped rises sharply. Near the exit, something unexpectedly strikes the car, but he refuses to stop and investigate.
What the fuck? What the fuck was that?
Something just hit the car. I don't even want to get out. I do not want to get out right now. We're locked in right now. Something just hit the car.
Instead, he keeps moving until reaching the highway. Looking back, he admits staying longer could have ended badly and emphasizes the main lesson from the trip. Check changing mountain weather carefully and leave while a safe exit is still available.
I'm not getting out to check that out. That's how people die in horror movies. So, like... Oh my god! My good golly, man. That was trippy.
Story number 2. Two campers enter a snow-covered forest at night, surrounded by steep drop-offs, deep snow, and bitter wind. Then, unexplained voices and animal-like sounds begin following them through the trees.
What was that?
I don't know. It sounded almost like something was like crying. Oh.
As snowfall increases, one camper suddenly hears what sounds like people talking from a rocky ravine below. There is no obvious trail or person there, so they keep moving instead of climbing down into dangerous terrain.
What the hell? Sorry to cut you off, but I literally
okay.
heard some
down
people.
there?
Yeah.
I don't see anything. I don't even... Wait, where does the trail go? No, I'm pretty sure the trail... Yeah, I don't think the trail goes down there.
No, I don't either. But I mean, looking at it, it looks like just a ravine.
No, it's just rocks.
Oh, is it all rock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like rocks and caverns and stuff. A lot of trees down there.
Okay, I don't know how I heard voices down there then.
I don't know. Dude, I'm telling you, some of the sounds that I've heard in this place...
Reflective eyes appear briefly in the darkness, followed later by a faint growl and distant howl. They consider coyotes or wolves as realistic possibilities, reminding themselves that unfamiliar wilderness sounds do not automatically mean something paranormal.
Possibly skinwalkers or whatever the hell is out here, but potentially coyotes and wolves.
Fun.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's better than getting scared by a rattlesnake that almost bites you.
Yep. I guess.
In a way.
I guess unless the wolf attacks you, then that kind of sucks. Yeah, there's clearly no one here. I mean, there's no cars parked outside. So yeah, there's I don't see why anybody would be out here at this time.
They choose a campsite, but immediately notice a questionable tree nearby that could fall in stronger wind. Rather than camp underneath it, they move and build their fire elsewhere before their hands become too cold.
That
is scary, actually.
That is funny. We're gonna move a fair distance. Let's go
we're getting
down
away
there
from
somewhere. There we go. Now we got a little bit of a area that we can maneuver. All right. Time to start gathering up some kindling.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little harder to find the good pieces right now because it's all buried.
Yeah, we're gonna have to collect a lot of these like branches and stuff. Oh, that's gonna suck. Okay, well, let's get started. All right, guys. I think we got enough kindling to at least get us started. Just want to get this thing going.
While cutting firewood, one camper hears a distant voice, apparently saying, "Hey." Minutes later, the other hears something similar. With no lights or people visible, they stay near the fire and avoid chasing the sound.
You hear?
I thought I just heard somebody say, "Hey," like in the distance over there.
I don't know.
You didn't hear that?
Not at all. I was sawing.
Oh yeah, good point. Good point.
Can't really hear anything when you're doing that. Well, see if you hear it again. I'm telling you, dude, you hear all sorts of weird, nonsensical freaking noises out here.
Like it almost sounded like somebody trying to get our attention.
Maybe
Like,
somebody
that's
was.
kind of like "Hey" that I heard.
Maybe somebody's like, "Hey, what you doing in there?"
I mean, I would assume they'd have a light if they're walking up here.
What was that?
Growling is heard from different directions, and one camper sees movement in the shadows. Instead of continuing alone without a proper light, he returns toward the fire while they consider ordinary wildlife among the possible explanations.
Over here.
Bobby.
Wait, you heard it over there?
Yeah, but yeah, that's why I turned. I heard the
it
dog,
over-
but that's not what I was
Yeah.
listening to.
No, I heard it behind me almost, and the dog as well. The fuck? Like where over there?
Somewhere in that direction there.
Well, I heard it off in back there. Oh, I just saw like a flash. Hope the camera picked that up.
Now it sounds like there's something like flapping back there. What the hell is that?
I don't even know.
What the hell could be flapping?
This light on here is not the greatest.
The situation becomes more intense when one camper sees a tall, dark shape and then hears a snarl that seems extremely close. The other reports seeing something human-sized moving elsewhere, but neither gets a clear enough view to identify it.
Sounds like something's moving down there. What the hell? Could just be like a deer or something.
See, the reason why I'm a little bit worried about it is because it looked tall, like human tall, not animal tall.
More tapping and movement come from the trees as both men begin losing body heat. Rather than continue deeper into the forest, they turn back, warm themselves one final time, and prepare to leave.
It almost kind of sounds like it's faint, but it almost kind of sounds like something's up in the trees.
It does a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell's that tapping?
I don't know. It sounds like something's literally like shaking the tree.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? Wait, I hear something different. It sounds like that clicking noise we've heard before. Fuck. What the fuck is that? Yeah.
A nearby howl follows them toward the exit. Once back inside the vehicle, they notice another car behaving strangely nearby, but they do not confront anyone. They warm up and leave, ending the trip before cold, wildlife, or uncertain human activity creates a bigger problem.
Well, it's like a howling,
Yeah.
almost.
It almost kind of sounded like a wolf, like no
It did.
joke.
Go figure in the direction of travel for us.
I know, right? The hell? And this is kind of weird, but first this car like pulled up, then backed out, then went down the road, then turned around and came back, and I'm just like, what is going on right now? You wanna maybe show them, Frank, what we're talking about? Not really understanding what's going on here, but
Story number 3. A solo driver pushes a tiny city car deeper into Siberia toward Yakutsk. Temperatures fall below -30 degrees Celsius as rough roads, isolation, and failing vehicle systems begin stacking up.
Here, but I decide to have a quick check to see if there's something we can do for this guy.
The overloaded city car begins taking hard suspension hits on rough pavement. After hearing an ugly impact, he stops to inspect the tires instead of assuming everything is fine.
Oh my god. Hopefully we didn't break anything with that. There's something. Can be the road, can be the tire. Going to have a look at it anyway. Earlier on, I was going to tell you how hot the Victron gets. Well, I'm going to show you how hot it actually gets. So it's actually getting about 63 degrees. Now let's have a look at the wheels. This one seems alright. And now that one. I think we got away very well with that. There was nothing to see on the tires on either side.
With no reliable mobile service, he also keeps a satellite emergency communicator attached to him.
So, I figured that by now it would be a good idea to have the Garmin InReach switched on and attached to me, so that in case I drive off the road somewhere in a corner and leave no trace, I'll probably be there for a very long time.
On the Lena Highway, permafrost has warped the pavement into deep waves and sudden dips. Broken down trucks sometimes sit directly in the driving lane with little warning, forcing him to reduce speed and constantly scan far ahead.
It's really a shoulder to park the car on if it breaks down. So many cars, especially trucks that are broken, are just on the road where we actually drive on without any warning whatsoever. So you really have to stay focused to see those cars way before you actually arrive.
The highway becomes increasingly isolated, with no cell service and almost nobody nearby to help after a breakdown. He passes abandoned and disabled vehicles, including one missing much of its front, showing how serious mechanical trouble can become here.
Cell phone coverage at all. No normal calling, no SMS, and also no data connection. There's a car standing in the middle of the road here. They seem to be alright. I think, yeah. Oh, they're out of fuel. So sure if it's a good idea to stop or not. Not sure what is going on here, but I decide to have a quick check to see if there's something we can do for this guy. Good.
Goblin, can I help you? Huh? Yeah? Okay. Good. Good. Ciao. Do свидания. Ciao. You did not need help, but...
Extreme cold creates a new problem. Heat for the windshield competes with heat for his feet, while the engine itself begins losing temperature. He slows to around 30 kilometers per hour, because one hidden dip could damage the heavily loaded suspension and end the expedition.
The engine temperature is dropping, as you can see, it's going to 80. So I'm trying to manage the temperature of the engine. Little city car was never built for roads like these, especially carrying this much weight. And if something breaks out here, spare parts have a long way to travel. Every bump reminds me of how much weight this car is carrying. Still, after thousands of kilometers, this car is holding out better than I expected.
Several trucks cannot climb an icy section even with chains. Both lanes become blocked as drivers build momentum for the hill, temporarily trapping everyone at roughly -29 degrees Celsius until an opening finally appears.
I think that guy is stuck over there. He's not going to get the truck up there. I think he's stuck. But what can we do? cannot pull them up either. Not so sure what's going on here. Okay, no, they can't get up here because there's not enough gravel on the road. That's why there were trucks waiting at the top. And he's trying to get up there, and he even has chains on it. But we can help him. Whether a truck makes it up here depends on its weight.
After a frightening close call on the road, outside temperatures drop to around minus 33 degrees Celsius. GPS and cell coverage disappear, so he decides staying closer to other people is safer than continuing deep into the wilderness alone.
No, GPS is not working. I'm telling it to use my location, and it's grayed out, and it tells me that it's still 980 kilometers. That was about what we had this morning, and also we have no cell phone coverage at all. It is 33 degrees below zero. It's 1634 now, because actually I do favor a place a little bit closer to people, just for my own safety. I mean, for the adventure, it's great to just drive into the woods and have an experience far away from any civilization, but I also have to kind of think about my own safety. For example, if my car burns down this night, I don't know, can be, I'm here, far away from any possible help, especially in the storm. It's way colder than 33 degrees below zero.
Rather than forcing another few hundred kilometers after dark, he stops early where there is food, internet, and some nearby activity. The decision pays off immediately when an under-hood inspection reveals a small coolant leak, exactly the kind of problem better discovered near help than deep on an isolated Arctic highway.
I'm going to bed early at around 9. I can go out of bed at 5, leave at 6, and then do a very long day of driving tomorrow when we have maximum daylight. Probably we're gonna drive a little bit faster. It's a little bit safer as well, and we have 4G internet coverage here, so I can do some video editing and upload stuff. I think all in all, it's the safest thing to do now, and there's no reason to drive another few hundred kilometers to the next village. I don't know what we can expect over there, so I think this is just the best thing to do now. I'm going to call it a day here, and then we're going to get something to eat. So I just checked under the hood, and I think I found a small coolant leak. Hopefully it's just a hose clamp that needs to be tightened, but I'm not sure. I can't really see where it's coming from. It's not bad, but also not very good.
Story number 4. Two travelers push north on Alaska's Dalton Highway in deep winter. Icy roads, brutal cold, and heavy truck traffic soon turn the Arctic drive into far more than sightseeing.
Right of way, and you have to be patient whenever you're stuck behind an oversized load.
Nice job, STR.
Before leaving civilization, they top off a spare fuel can as insurance. Fuel stops are widely spaced, and a wreck or road closure could force an unexpected turnaround, so extra range matters far more on an isolated winter highway.
Stations are staggered almost perfectly along our route. You never know when there might be a wreck or construction that halts traffic for hours at a time. If we needed to turn around before one of those fuel stops, it could mean a shortage of fuel. So, in this weather, we're taking extra precautions.
So, how'd you pull your shoulder out, Kevin?
Icy pavement and huge frost heaves repeatedly test the truck, while 50 to 60 miles per hour wind gusts complicate their search for camp. Most familiar sites are buried or blocked by plow berms, so they choose a maintained, plowed campground instead.
Looking for a plowed campground. Apparently, there are enough crazy people in the world to warrant clearing this camping area just north of Fairbanks. It's crazy to think that just a few days before, it was negative 50 degrees Fahrenheit here. But tonight, it's a balmy positive 12 degrees, which means that by Alaskan standards, it's the perfect weather for an evening outdoors. So with stiffening fingers and runny noses, we quickly attach the wall kit to the awning.
They explain why a CB radio is valuable on the Dalton. Truckers use it to warn each other about oversized loads and road hazards. Listening ahead also helps smaller vehicles give working trucks the space they need.
Recommend carrying a CB radio on this route so you can listen into the drivers and stay aware of what's ahead and behind. And remember, These big guys should always have the right of way, and you have to be patient whenever you're stuck behind an oversized load.
Nice job, STR. Thank you, guys.
Near Wiseman, their usual campsites disappear beneath roughly 2.5–3 feet of snow and plow berms. Rather than forcing the truck through deep powder, they settle at the end of an already plowed road.
Honey holes are covered in, what, 2.5, 3 feet
Oh yeah.
of snow?
Plus berms.
Plus berms from the snowplows. So we're just making do with what we can find. Thankfully, no one's really used this road in a while. So I think we're good. Straight to bed tonight. We're beat. Craig's beat from driving like Jeff Gordon, and hey, I'm beat from holding on with my cheeks. So if you're wondering how we're sleeping in this setup, I'm up here in the penthouse, and Mr. 7 foot tall is down there
In the basement.
in the basement.
In the dungeon.
Thankfully, it's a long bed, so
Yeah, she's nice.
Yeah.
She was really cozy. I slept really well last night.
yeah,
Yeah, it's perfect.
it sounded like you did. All right.
At Atigan Pass, they find a tanker buried in a drift after another truck reportedly forced it toward the soft shoulder. Despite the tanker's enormous weight, they carefully attempt a recovery while watching constantly for passing semis.
It's massive weight difference, but it's truly a David versus Goliath scenario.
I think we're at the max extent of what that Bubba Roof's design.
Even downhill.
But downhill's the advantage.
Is he empty?
He's empty.
Okay.
It may snap.
It's a good story.
Yeah. For the content.
Here he comes. Give another good hit.
Did he move at all?
I don't think so. Okay, hold there. Stop. Now hit it good. I moved it a little bit. Tell him to hold up a second. Got another one coming.
Near Dead Horse, temperatures drop below zero, and even simple equipment begins struggling. Their water system has been winterized, heater runs continuously, and extreme cold even causes their coffee grinder's internal parts to contract and separate.
And pump had to be drained and winterized for this trip, so we've had to keep the Webasto heater running around the clock to keep the cabin warm enough for our drinking water to remain in a fluid state. Our Jetboil fuel can, which was stored in the cabinets, was actually a bit stubborn to get lit, and even when it did finally fire off, the flame looked like it was shivering in the below zero temps. Today, we're whipping up some of our very own Topo Brew Sunrise coffee before the long haul. Then, our hearts skipped a beat when our grinder's internal gears separated from the body, rendering it almost useless.
Well, I think we might have had one of our first failures of this trip. Our coffee grinder.
On the return trip, they encounter another semi crawling up an extremely slick grade. Instead of rushing past, they turn around, check the driver, and wait until he safely rejoins his convoy. Another lesson in patience on remote winter roads.
Touch that clutch. 2 miles an hour.
I think you needed a couple more sets of chains today.
Everybody's finding out that this little heat wave.
With our very slow, lost sheep located, we followed him back up the slick climb, watching his wheel spin 2 to 3 times for every yard that he covered.
You guys good? No worries. You too, bud.
Once we were sure he had rejoined his convoy to install more chains before the even longer and steeper climb ahead, we again continued on our way, soaking up the sunshine and enjoying the drama as it came our way.
Story number 5. A camper climbs into New Zealand's mountains just as a violent storm arrives. Heavy rain, thunder, and freezing wind immediately turn the trip into a fight to keep his shelter standing.
No, leave it.
Cold and soaked from sweating during the climb, he makes shelter his first priority, instead of immediately searching for firewood. In cold rain and strong wind, Getting out of exposure quickly can matter because wet clothing and wind can accelerate heat loss.
Keeping it on. Putting on a nice, dry, waterproof top is fine, and then get the tarp set up, get my shelter done, then I'll change into dry clothes. Okay. Now these conditions are really dangerous. You could get hypothermia so easily here, and I know what people are going to say. Go and get firewood. Get your fire done quickly. Then you got something warm. No, because fires can go wrong. They can take ages to get going. It's just too risky. You've got to get shelter because you've got to get out of the wind.
Thunder arrives just as the rain becomes violent. Gusts loosen the huge tarp, forcing him to lower one side and double peg it into saturated ground until he finally creates a protected windbreak.
All hell is breaking loose now. I might have to peg this down to the ground. In fact, I will. Come on, Bruno, it's okay. Right, so that's loosened off completely in that corner.
Then a frightening failure happens. The force on one guy line breaks apart the rotten tree it was attached to. He realizes it could have collapsed during the night, switches anchor points, and adjusts the tarp to reduce its sail-like exposure.
I tell you what, these conditions are something else. That's how strong it was just then, how hard it pulled the tarp, that it snapped that entire tree. The tree was rotten. Oh my word. Now I'm worried about that one over there. Okay. Let's do this.
With the tarp stabilized, he pitches a second tent underneath as backup protection. Despite the worsening storm, he focuses on one rule: don't panic. Instead, he considers his fallback. If the shelters fail, pack up and return to the vehicle.
The number one thing to remember is don't panic. Don't panic. Panic doesn't help anybody, ever. All right, what I'm gonna have to do is, because the poles have to go in on the other end, I'm just gonna turn the tent around, put the poles in, and then turn it around again. Okay. So the beauty of the Hillberg tents are that you set them up.
He initially avoids building a fire beneath or too close to the tarp because damaging his only shelter would create a much bigger problem. As his hands become cold, he adds merino, 2 down jackets, and wind-blocking layers, while keeping his sleeping insulation available as another backup.
So you see, I couldn't have a fire in this. Well, I could, but what's the point? You can't sit close enough to it for it to make any difference whatsoever. So, and you can't have the fire under the tarp. It's too dangerous. Imagine if you caught light to your tent, your tarp. Your shelter is everything. Your shelter is more important than having a fire.
Before sleeping, he lowers and reinforces the tarp for the night. The storm remains so loud that he deliberately avoids earplugs, wanting to hear immediately if a peg, tree, or part of the shelter begins failing.
Remember to do it this time. So that's now pegged into the ground, and I've put a log on the pegs as well so they can't move because the ground's so wet, you just never know. The others are secured so tightly it's not going anywhere. It's just a very noisy tarp, and this is going to be a rough night. Usually I put earplugs in, but with this wind I want to hear just in case something goes wrong.
Around 3 a.m., the storm suddenly becomes strangely quiet. He checks outside and discovers why. Several inches of snow have accumulated on the shelter. He knocks the load off before returning to bed, showing why changing weather can require overnight equipment checks.
Yeah, there you go. It's loud again. I need to reach the other side here and just bang this.
By morning, camp is packed and the site is cleared. With freezing hands and a painful ankle, he takes roughly 2.5 hours to descend carefully before finally reaching the heated truck, ending a storm camp that began with rain and thunder and finished in snow.
Right, we're back in the truck. Got the heating on. Thanks again, everyone. It was a weird trip, great trip. I did enjoy it, but oh man, yesterday it was brutal, and coming down just now was brutal as well. Bruno's ready to go home. He's had a great time.
Story number 6. A camper rides out an Alaska blizzard with a broken diesel heater. By morning, more than 2 feet of dense snow has trapped his truck.
It sucks. Even with ARB air lockers, I can't get out of here. It's just too dense. Look at my axle dragging right there too. We're buried. Already stuck. So
His diesel heater is already out of service, so the wood stove becomes his only reliable heat source. Outside, another vehicle gets stuck as snow deepens, while forecasts call for winds near 50 miles per hour.
Totally paid for itself. The beauty of a wood stove is it's reliable, you know? Like for instance, right now my diesel heater is not working. I took the whole thing apart, rebuilt it all, put it back together, and it's still throwing error codes. So I don't have that as a heat source at all, but I've got a wood stove, which all you have to do is put fuel into it, you know, put wood into it, and it will keep you warm. There's no batteries involved, there's nothing to really fail.
The storm becomes strong enough to backdraft the chimney, repeatedly pushing smoke into the camper and extinguishing the fire. Rather than risk being smoked out while sleeping, he decides to shut the stove down completely.
Keeps backdrafting the chimney so it puts the fire out and fills the house with smoke, and then see that? Probably what I'm gonna do to be safe before I go to bed, I'm just gonna put this fire out, that way I can't get smoked out of here. Smell them.
Violent wind shakes the camper through the night and repeatedly wakes him. By morning, both heat sources are unavailable, making his insulated bedding and warm clothing the backup keeping him comfortable.
Good morning, guys. It is still absolutely ripping outside. The wind, it's calmed down a little bit, but it still sounds kind of crazy. I'm really curious whether or not we're going to be able to get out of this parking lot today. I think there's going to be a lot of snow. So we'll see what happens. Time to put the bed away and open the door and see what we have to deal with. It's all I know. Tell you one thing, I've got this new down comforter from Feathered Friends who makes awesome jackets. I've got their jackets too, and I'd be freezing.
He can barely open the door because of accumulated snow. After starting the truck, he prepares four-wheel drive, a rear locker, and even considers using his fat bike to reach nearby road crews if necessary.
Worst case, I'll have to jump on my bike, and there's a Department of Transportation, a DOT facility, basically, like a shop. And maybe they've got some plows. They're the ones that plow Thompson Pass, so I'll be able to talk them into coming to plow this lot out a little so I can get out.
His 37-inch tires quickly sink into dense snow until the axle begins dragging. The truck becomes high-centered, and even the locker cannot free it, forcing him to start shoveling a path by hand.
It sucks. Even with ARB air lockers, I can't get out of here. It's just too dense. Look at my axle dragging right there too. We're buried. Already stuck. So I'm gonna get out the shovel and just start digging, I guess. Too bad there's nothing we could winch to. I could just freaking winch us out of here, but there's nothing.
Repeated digging and traction attempts still fail. The road is close, but deep wind-packed drifts keep the heavy camper trapped with almost nothing nearby, strong enough to use as a winch anchor. Finally, Alaska Department of Transportation workers help free the truck. After escaping, he acknowledges that staying through the storm made the exit much harder, an important reminder that sometimes leaving before heavy drifting begins is the safer decision.
Awesome, huge shout out to Alaska Department of Transportation, DOT. Those guys are awesome anyway. They're the only reason we can drive up here in the winter, literally, you know?
And people bash them all the time, like, oh, they didn't plow the street fast enough, or they didn't do this fast enough. But